And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Lindsayrimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing, refinancing. We would love to talk to you. We got Mark Haye joining us in studio, markhaye.com. We're going to talk with him about big, beautiful tax bill and a lot of the ramifications that are relating to real estate. And Mark is our financial advising expert contributor on the talk show. As you know, we have about 35 other show partners ranging from boats and yachts and CPA, all types of great home service providers, self-defense, Second Amendment, all different types of business owners. So think of us as that hub on your financial wheel, each spoke extending out, representing another one of our on-air expert contributors. And we all like to help you save time, save money, and cut straight to the point where, hey, this is where I need to be. This is a trusted local company. Work with the local lenders here in the community. And, of course, we would love to support you in whatever you're doing. Also, interesting stat here, breaking for the first time in Rasmussen's polling history, a majority of Americans say U.S. is on right track. Wow, interesting stuff. So we're going to jump into that with Mark Haye coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill, a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance, very delicious food, and the wait staff is very friendly. They do a great job over there. Say hello to Chef Oscar Ramirez. Say hello to General Manager Gabriel over there. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers. I'm looking at their lunch menu right here in front of me. $12.95 lunch menu. They've got chicken Caesar salad, flatbreads, pastas, sandwiches, chicken cutlet sandwich, and it's really good food. Go let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and they'll even throw in a free water with lemon every time. Mark, have you ever eaten over at Brio?
I have. It's very good.
Yeah, it's a good
very
spot,
good.
right? Great location, too.
Yeah, I like International Mall.
This whole area is so cool.
Stuff.
There's
very cool
stick
stuff.
with stuff to do, and kind of call it Restaurant Row with all the competition. I mean, that's where you want to be, close to the airport in Tampa. And, great place. So, Brio Tuscan Grill, let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We'll jump right into it. We got a new listing there, Dave. Let's throw that new one, Villa Lago, up. This one's in Lakeland. Beautiful property, 1839 Villa Lago Drive, Lakeland, Florida. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3-car garage, 2,436 square feet. You have a quarter-acre lot, lighter color kitchen cabinetry, a beautiful island there as well. Built-in closets look amazing. Looks like your designer closets. You've got a pool overlooking the pond there, screened-in area in the back. Community pool looks like one of those lagoons almost. I mean, it's a nice big community pool. 3-car garage, barrel tile roof on this home, luxury vinyl flooring in the bedrooms. 1839 Villa Lago Drive, Lakeland, Florida. Another new listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 221 Howard Drive. This one is a beautiful beach property. This is 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square feet. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of water frontage, and you have beach access that's 1 block away. So you have access to the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of beautiful Pinellas County. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. You can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, coming up also, we've got the latest stats. Hillsborough County, the 4th most populous county in the state of Florida, 25th in the country, and that's Hillsborough County. Tampa Bay, the metro, 17th largest in the area. We're going to talk about the real estate stats. I'm going to go over the absorption rates, month supply of inventory as well. And I'm going to contrast that to March of 22. You remember those days when things were selling pretty quickly there. So we'll jump into that later on. I want to get to Mark's talking about this analysis of the big, beautiful tax bill that just passed the House. How's it going,
absolutely.
Man?
There's a lot of good stuff for business owners and individuals. There's like 350-some pages. But I picked like 6 or 7 highlights. Just I think people need to know, like, hey, this is some really cool stuff.
Perfect.
And some things we could take advantage of. And happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all that served and have died for our freedoms. You know, absolutely. But so anyways, right off the bat, we're going to go back to 100% bonus depreciation. And if anybody understands what that is, if you buy a commercial building, or a residential building, you can take that entire cost as a deduction on your taxes. So, for example, if you bought a commercial building, you would have to depreciate that over 39 years. Mm-hmm. So let's say you bought $1 million, commercial property, you depreciate that over a 39-year period, or you could take $1 million off this year, off of your income, and you get to own that property. So if you go off and make $1 million, buy $1 million commercial property for your business, you can now get rid of that income by just deducting that bonus depreciation on that real estate. And I kind of knew this was going to happen because Trump is a big real estate guy, and he's taking advantage of bonus depreciation. That's why his taxes are so low, and people get mad at him for it. But he just takes advantage of that. And now at the point here where if people have high income or they're looking to pay less in taxes, really you should go buy a rental property once a year at this point until Trump's out. So if you did 4 years, right now you go call a brand and say, I need a rental property, you bonus depreciate that. Next year, do it again. Next year, do it again. And who knows, it may disappear then after Trump's gone. But we know that at this point, we know that's happening. If you go and buy an auto, for your vehicle for your business, you can bonus depreciate that. So if you bought a $50,000 vehicle, you could take $50,000 off of your income and own that vehicle. You can even finance that vehicle, and now Trump's letting you take that interest and deducting it against your income, which you were not allowed to do before. So you can buy a vehicle, 100% bonus depreciate it, and then you can finance it, meaning no money out of pocket, right off the interest for the next 7 years on the income. Wow. I mean, it's massive.
When you say bonus depreciate, you're taking that off the top dollar of income.
Yeah. So if you had $100,000 of income and you bought a $50,000 car, it's simple math. Now you have $50,000 of income, because you bonus depreciate that. And then if you finance it, you get to write off the interest on the finance. So it's like a no-brainer. Yep. If you need vehicles for your business, you want to grow, or a car or trucks, whatever. Really need to take advantage of that.
And you mentioned these investments, too, when you think about buying a duplex, triplex, quad, especially if it's a veteran, they're getting 100% financing, for example, on some of these purchases. And then you do the leapfrog method. So you leap from one house to the next every 2 or 3 years. You're leapfrogging to the next one. Next thing you know, you're looking back, Mark, you got five investment properties. You're taking advantage of all the advantages there. Now, if you also buy some of these properties, this would be outside of the scope of the example I just gave with the 100% financing with the veteran. If you buy these properties, you're able to also write off the majority through an IRA, right?
Yeah, well, you could put the properties in the IRA as well. That's one thing you could do. But if you want to take advantage of the tax code, keep it out of the IRA, put it as an LLC as the owner. Okay. Now you're a business owner. Now you bonus depreciate, you take all the deductions.
Got it.
And that's how you can generate, a property and pay zero in taxes.
Got it.
Because you're just going to bonus depreciate that instead of waiting 27.5 years. And then at the same time, the SALT, salt and local
State
tax.
Local tax, yep.
It was capped at $10,000. So all that means if you had a $8,000 property tax annual bill, you can deduct that from your income. But if you had $18,000, you can only do $10,000. You get my point, right?
Yep.
Now he pushed it all the way to $40,000.
Yes.
So now these people that live, especially in Tampa Bay, we have a lot of people that have homes, big homes. Property taxes have really gotten kind of out of control in my opinion in the last 5-6 years. But now all of a sudden these people that are paying $20,000 or $30,000 a year in property tax can deduct that from their income again, which is crazy to me to even think that you have to pay property taxes and then still get taxed on the income that you paid property taxes.
Yeah, taxable dollars on top of that.
That's insane that we even have a cap.
It is.
Let alone why do we even pay property taxes every single year? That doesn't make sense anyways. But it should be up there.
Well, if the election went the other way, remind everybody what they were looking to do on the left.
Right.
What were they going to do?
Well, you're going to eliminate. You're going to raise property taxes, no deduction. You're not going to have
assessed value.
Exactly.
They were going to hit you on the assessed value. So if I live in my home, I paid it down to where, maybe I only owe $100,000 on it, right? And it's $1 million property. They're going to tax me on that equity that I have. The left was going to tax you. I don't think people fully understand outside of the men and women's sports and all that kind of stuff, which is a glaring duh, Adam and Eve, not. Anyways, $900,000, Mark, in that example. They were going to tax that. That's what Kamala wanted to do.
Wasn't just real estate either. It was autos. It was anything that has ownership. They were going to tax that. So your auto is now worth $20,000. Well, you owe a tax on that. Your property's worth this. Your tractor's worth that. You know what I mean? That's what it's going to be.
Their mind is so warped as far as
it's insane.
What the private capital, and you look at what built this country, right? I mean, and I love listening to Charlie Kirk and some of the great Mike Gallagher, and when we talk about on this station all the talent. But what they remind you of is the capitalist environment that allows people to make wealth. So who are these people on the left that want to come in and just take and give and redistribute the wealth all over the place? I mean,
exactly.
If that would have went through, that would cripple people like even our president, Donald Trump, invests a lot of money in real estate, got the tax abatements. I was just listening to a deal over the weekend. It reminded me of kind of that story of the entrepreneur that's going to put the capital out there. He's going to risk that capital, and then he's going to put it all on the line and potentially get taxed to the hilt by a left-leaning candidate.
I mean, just thank the Lord that it happened the way it did.
Exactly.
And then we're looking at this.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at standard deductions, going to go up to $16,000 for a single person, $32,000 for a joint or married couple. All that means if you're married, the first $32,000 you make is not taxable. So that's a big jump that we get to go to have. So that's a really big deal. Now, here's a really amazing thing that every business owner should be happy about, called QBI. It's Qualified Business Income Deduction.
Okay.
And he raised it to 23%. And all that means is you could take 23% of your net income off the top, every business owner. Wow. Doesn't matter. So let's just use a business owner has all these deductions, and now he's going to have $100,000 of net income. Right? 23% comes off the net income, not gross. So now he only owes $77,000 of net income, right?
Yep.
And he still is married, so $32,000 standard deduction. So take $32,000 off of $77,000. Now he's down to $42,000 of taxable income.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. That we got the standard deduction, we got the QBI, we got the SALT, we got bonus depreciation, and then we got no tax on overtime, no tax on tips.
Yep.
Which is massive for so many people. And
Social Security.
Yeah, and so like a lot of times, I tip or give cash to employees as here's a bonus or here's this. I write that off still. I get to write it off, but now they don't have to claim any taxes on that. So it's a massive overhaul for people in service industry, tip, people working overtime, people work a lot of overtime. That's a big chunk that's not going to be taxed anymore.
Right.
Which, man, I just think it's all really positive. The only thing that he didn't address was no tax on Social Security.
Okay, so that's not in there.
It's not in there. And he is going to give like a $450 credit per year to senior citizens, so something.
Maybe to see.
But then you read it, and 50% of people that take Social Security don't pay tax on Social Security anyways.
Got it.
So maybe they didn't really see it as important enough to slide in there.
Right.
But I don't know. I just still think that Social Security should not be taxed. I mean, you're taxed all the way along.
It's government money.
Yeah, so you're going to send me my check, and then I got to send it back to you as I think it's silly, but they do get $450 a year, I guess. But
yeah, that's a good summary. And Mark, when you look at it too, what a lot of people thought with the taxes is with the tariffs too is the way that it would bog down. The ports and this and that, but it's not happened.
No, the tariffs are actually working. We're actually bringing in billions of dollars.
That's the other part, is because you have the internal, which we just did a great job with. If the Senate can pass that, please God, do it. And then now you have the external.
Yeah.
Right. So if we can take care of those types of things, pick up Greenland, sign a little deal with Greenland.
I want Canada's oil.
Yeah.
But and the thing about too, like bringing everything to America with tariffs. That auto, I might mention, that auto deduction on the interest, right? If you get a loan for auto and the interest, it has to be American-built car.
Right.
If you get a foreign-built car, you don't get to deduct that interest, which, again, you bring in bonus depreciation, you got the tariffs, and now I can deduct the interest on an American-made car. Guess what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. You're going to see manufacturing go through the roof in America for the next 4 years because that is massive for individuals, business owners, etc. And why would you go get a foreign car now if I can't deduct that interest? Yep. I'm just going to buy American now.
And the appetite for EVs significantly curtailed.
Yeah.
So people, I get it. They can see the hybrid. If you're doing the hybrid, hey, let the gas get me rolling. Then when I'm on the highway, let that electronical, kick in, that electric kick in. I get the hybrids too, but sometimes people just want to burn a little fossil fuel and spin some mud and get the mud on their tires. And,
absolutely. Well, there's nothing like the sound of a muscle car engine
with
fuel.
Yeah.
But you put an electric car out there, it just doesn't sound the same.
No.
I don't know if you guys watched the Formula One over the weekend, but I mean, they sound amazing. But you put electric out there, like, it's not so good.
Well, Adam Sandler does a song. He does like a parody skit where it's like the person gets hit by the Tesla because they can't hear him coming.
Yeah, exactly. I do like having no noise, though, if you're sitting on your balcony and, there's no noise. But
Pros and cons.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have some really cool two more things for you guys, and this is for business owners.
Let's save it for the other side.
You got it.
Well, tease it for us. What is going to be a little tease on the other side here?
Yep. It's going to be a business deduction and entertainment and meals.
Okay, so how to properly look at those
things. You got it.
More breaking down the big, beautiful tax bill. Mark Haye in studio with me. Consumer Quarterback Show online at consumerqb.com. Follow all of our experts at consumerqb.com. You can see links there to our expert contributors. And we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back. More with Mark Haye coming up.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Kobal at rightwaypa.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Coming up, we're going to do some metro stats here for Hillsborough County. We're going to talk about Hillsborough County stats, active versus sold, absorption rates, month supply of inventory. A couple of hot listings here. We got a property that I really like over here. This property on Goose Ribbon Place, Waimama, 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, Waimama. We got a 322 smart home here. It's in one of those communities that has the lagoon, resort-style crystal lagoon, a shimmering multi-acre aquatic paradise. Check out 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, 16625 Goose Ribbon Place in Waimama. Great opportunity to buy real estate. We got a property on Magnolia as well. Beautiful listing here. I love this property in Claremont. It's 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard. $1 million listing, just under $1 million. You have a 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, and a 2-car garage. 3121 square feet, 1 acre of land. Now, this is a rare gem at an excellent price in Magnolia Island, the home community. There's only about 30 homes in that community, and you have access to a lake there as well. Beautiful property. And if you're buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, please reach out to the team. We'd love to talk to you. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. You can see all of our listings at our website as well, platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we're talking to Mark Haye in studio here, Consumer Quarterback Show. So, yeah, that was huge. The QBI up 23%. You have also, we're going to get to business write-offs and entertainment and meals coming up, Mark. I wanted to jump into these stats here real quick. So you got total, this is the latest stats for April, 6934 active listings. This is Hillsborough County. Now, if you divide 6934 divided by the 1,711 properties that have sold, that gives us a 27% absorption rate here in 2025. Now, go back to March of 18. That absorption rate was up at 219% absorption rate. So we're selling more properties than we even had. You have March of 22, only 1,100 properties available for sale. The difference now is 6934. The difference is 5816 more properties. So that tells you from a buying side, buyers have 6.2 times more choices, more homes to look at. And your competition is a lot more difficult. And now, if you also look at that from a month's supply of inventory, it's 4.1 months supply of inventory. So buyers need to, sellers need to be aggressively priced. Days on market are up. The inventory is, sitting on the market a lot longer than it used to. And you're seeing record numbers of price improvements, price drops. So sometimes when you list a property, you get that early offer. Yeah. Oh, I can get better, and that offer never comes.
Absolutely. That's interesting stats. Now, I know we're running out of time, so I want to give these two things. So
let's do it.
Right now, it used to be, and talk about business entertainment, and let's say you go golfing, take clients out or whatever, you're going to go golf. That's your entertainment, okay? It used to be 100%. You can go golfing and you could write that whole thing off against your business. And then it went down to 50% with the last administration. But if it's expected to expire this year, meaning it goes automatically back up to 100% if they do nothing, right? In this bill is no mention of it. So obviously Trump left that out for a certain reason. And if they do nothing and it passes, it automatically goes back to 100%. So now you can go golfing and 100% deduct that. You can go to sporting events. You can do all this cool stuff again and 100% deduct it against the business. Same thing with meals. So right now it's a 50% deduction on your meals, right? It used to be 100 back when Trump was president. He put it to 100 during COVID. It went back down to 50%. Again, if they do nothing, and again, nothing is in this bill, the 350 pages, of doing anything with it. It does nothing. It automatically goes back to 100%. So if you take a client out or you buy an employee's meal, you stock the fridge at your office for lunch for your employees, it's 100% deductible against your income again. And so now every time you go out to dinner, it's 100% deductible against the business. Now you go golfing, 100% deductible. You want to go a race, a Formula One, you want to go this and that, take clients, 100% deductible. If they do nothing, and Congress is very good at doing nothing. So I'm feeling really good about this. And I just think that if we can get that done too, just slide that in, man, I think that's just an unbelievable opportunity. And you're going to see people going out again more. You're going to see them doing more things, golfing and entertainment and sporting events, because now we can deduct all this again. Yep. And so now all of a sudden it's like, wow, why are we not doing this? You know, instead of eating in, we're going to go out. Yeah. So I think it's all really positive, good stuff. Let's just hope they get this thing passed through the Senate, which it looks like they're going to, but we'll see.
But these guys take, like you mentioned, they take a lot of days off, man.
We got to get it done before 4th of July.
Yeah, right. But they're on vacation here. They're on another week off for this break.
8 weeks during August. It's insane.
They take a lot of breaks up there.
But God bless Trump for doing this. I think it's amazing. I just hit on 6 or 7 of them. There's 350 pages of this. But I just think it's such an unbelievable thing for individuals, business owners, real estate investors, anything. Take advantage of it. And certainly, I'm happy to help. Call, my number 727 804-7220. Happy to lead you through this and see what we can do with your business or your retirement plan.
Yeah, reach out. Let Mark get a review done for you as well. He can look at your financial plan. He can look at your CPA's work and get a review. 813-917-1894. Call the hotline, 813-917-1894. And also at consumerqb.com, you can submit an email form right there with any of your questions or a quick message to us. Mark, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Coming up, Attorney Jason Kobal on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you online at consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. We got Attorney Jason Kobal joining us in studio. We're going to talk with him about his personal injury law practice, work comp law practice coming up as well. We have a special guest joining us also, Vitka Tarasova. She's got an interesting story. She's a flexologist and yoga instructor and an immigrant from Russia who's doing it the proper way, going through the proper channels. So Jason said, hey, let's talk about that and kind of do some compare and contrast of what the left did over the last 4 years versus the proper way to come in the country and some of the expectations. So we'll jump into that here before we do a couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty, 9594 Southeast Merricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. This is 5,725 square foot property, commercial building for sale, 90.95 acres, so 1 acre basically. You have a Southeast Merricamp Road in Ocala. This is a thriving hardware store with multiple income streams coming in the booming Silver Spring Shores area of Ocala. Seller financing available with a strong down payment, and this property is operating multiple income generating opportunities. So you have rental spaces in the back that are currently being utilized. Also, 4798 Indigo Road, Groveland. This is a property that we have 42 acres of land, perfect for development. You want to put in some single family homes, perhaps some increase the density, maybe put some townhomes in there. 42 acres of land, zoned A, residential, Groveland, Florida, close to Orlando, still close to Tampa Bay. 4798 Indigo Road, beautiful property. You also have a 2-2 home on the property as well for maybe a temporary base for your development project. You can see all of our real estate listings, and if you're buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, of course, we have a mortgage license now. We'd love to help you. Buying, selling, investing, refinancing. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, quick shout at 123.com, satellite123.com, that satellite phone store right here in Gulf Coast of Florida. You can see our code by simply going to satellite phone store. It's SAT123 for satellite, 123.com/REQB. SAT123.com/REQB. You might want to pick up satellite phone. Lots of different reasons people have them: hunting, fishing, offshore, going up in the mountains, and potential for terrorist attacks and all these different other situations that may come out as well. So sat123.com/REQB. Jason Kobal, welcome back in, sir.
Well, thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure, man.
Yes. Thanks for coming in. And what's new in your business, man? What's been happening?
Well, I was telling you, I just, my buddy, a longtime friend, actually went to law school with him. And in 2001, he scored the highest score on the bar exam for the whole state, which I think is awesome. Because
that is cool.
His dad did it as well 30 years earlier.
Oh, man. They
Totally
must have
awesome.
the Clip Notes version. Or
Right.
Maybe the Back to the Future version where he kept it in his pocket.
That's right. That's right. Apparently, I didn't have that because I didn't get anywhere near the highest, but that's all right.
Hey, as long as you get in there, man.
All I know is I passed. That's all I cared
First
about.
try?
Yeah, of course.
Nice. Good job.
But anyway, now he has switched careers. So he's now out in Arizona as a comptroller for a big auto dealership. And so we commenced this new business operation. We're looking at possibly doing personal injury in Arizona like we do in Florida.
Yep.
So I was comparing some statistics and some interesting driving statistics.
Wow.
So we obviously have a lot more people here in Florida. But as far as deaths per accident, there's twice as many. It happens twice as often in Arizona.
Wow.
And injuries per accident happens twice as, just having an injury from an accident, whether it's minor or major, happens twice as much in Arizona. So I was like, I wonder why that is.
I'm thinking, my wheels are spinning trying to figure
What do you
out.
think? I think it's maybe the mountains. I mean,
Yeah.
people, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's flat here.
What-
So
yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason. But so, and then what's cool about it is, so we know, okay, they get really hurt out there when they do have accidents,
Yep.
and then the law out there is better than Florida.
Okay.
In Florida, as you know, as I've said many times, there's no bodily injury for the legal minimum.
Okay.
So if I cause an accident and hurt someone and I have the legal minimum, they have no money to go after. I have zero. Out in Arizona, it's actually $25,000 per person or $50 per accident. So that's
Okay.
a big difference. So that
Okay.
means no matter what, if someone has the legal minimum, you're at least at $25,000 to get off them.
Okay.
So it's exciting now. So we're going to be going into this new area with less people, less accidents, but more serious accidents.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Interesting,
So we're
yeah.
expanding a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting to think how that plays out, because you do have the topography. I think that's a big part of it, and then you also look at the legal side of how that plays out. What's one of the things that affected the industry the most when you think about car personal injury, work comp? What have you seen? Because you had the 14-day rule years ago, and then you also had where they changed. You brought it to our attention where they changed the PTSD classifications for the first responders, things of that nature. What are some of the other big time laws that you've seen change? Or
I honestly, it's not just a law, man. COVID, and this is kind of, everyone knows this, but COVID changed everything.
okay,
And it's so different now. Like, I was shocked the other day. They actually wanted an in-person deposition. Everything's by phone now or Zoom. And that's exactly why we started this operation to combine states, because you could do things by Zoom and by phone pretty much all over the country now.
right.
So the way I practice law has changed from COVID.
Why would they call for an in person? Are they looking to read body language in those situations?
I always, if it's a serious case,
Yeah.
I insist on in person if I can.
Right.
Because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I
you got to
can't
be able to read body language.
You do,
if you're
especially
trying-
if your job is to, get information or get good evidence from this person. You got to be able to read their body language.
Yeah.
And, read their energy. And I feel like I'm doing my client a disservice when I'm not able to do that. When it's by phone or by Zoom, totally different.
Yeah,
So,
Zoom is not even comparable, because some people say, "Oh, I can see them over Zoom." Well, that's a flat screen. You're not seeing. Yeah. By the way, did you see Juror number 2 yet?
I did.
Clint Eastwood's. Yeah, the Clint Eastwood's apparently his last movie.
They keep saying that.
Great, but that's like Brett Favre retired again, or whoever. Right?
Yeah,
the quarterbacks.
Hey, I'm a big Steeler fan. I'm hoping we hear Aaron Rodgers signs one of these days. Hopefully.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, that could be a game changer.
Yeah. You know
could
what
be big.
Favre did in Minnesota back in 2009?
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I want Rodgers to do here in the Steelers. We'll see.
Oh boy, that could be trouble.
Yep.
If you just joined us, we're talking with Attorney Jason Kobal, Kobal Law, and TampaWorkCompLaw.com, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Jason, you brought a special guest with us today. Would you want to introduce your guest?
Yeah, and I am so excited about this. As you know, I'm an avid pickleball player.
Okay.
And I was not moving very well in pickleball, so I said, you know what, I see people doing these partner stretching things these days, and it's like the hot thing, so I'm going to try it out. So I contacted Vitka, because she's in my area by my office, and man, I tell you what, she's blown my mind with just things like I took for granted growing up. Stretching makes you feel so good, breathing.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool how she'll have her explain the process, the way they do it.
Sure.
And just in any business, I think when you have, like, every so often, you'll check where you're at. So you could see undeniable proof. Okay, so I got better at this, better at that. So then you know it's working and you want to do more.
Right.
And so, when I'm putting in the effort, she's putting in the effort, man, I'm starting to move around a lot better. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
Because your goal is to play on a senior.
I want to play, and it's 50 and above, so I'm 49. So I still got a little more time to get a little better.
There you go.
But
There you
yeah,
go.
by next year, I want to be in the senior tour.
I love it. Okay, you got goals there. That's
Yeah.
something.
And if I get there and you see me flying around, this is why.
yeah, there you go. When you get there.
That's right.
Jason Kobal. So, Victoria, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about your story. Yeah.
Hello, I'm from Russia. I moved here a year ago, in the beginning of March last year, actually. And I won a green card in a lottery, and that's how I got here. And I've been a yoga teacher in Russia. I started to do and teach yoga because of severe depression, and yoga was the one thing that could lift me up.
Yeah.
And actually it affected so good in my body. I'm so strong now. I'm so flexible, and I decided to continue to do that here in America too. So that's how we met. That's how I met Jason. That's how I helped him in his pickleball game, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you've been how long have you been doing? You're flexologist and a yoga instructor. How long have you been doing that?
So I'm teaching yoga about 3 years already.
Yeah.
And I'm stretching people, I don't know, for like 3 months.
Okay, good. I love it. Yeah, and I've done that before too. So I do the hot yoga a couple times a week.
Oh,
so
hot yoga is amazing.
Cold shower right afterwards. The endorphins are through the roof.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you really, you get.
I used to teach hot yoga in Russia.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. So you have a lot of fun with that. Now, the immigration side, Jason, can you kind of give an insight on the immigration and all that too, the story?
Yeah, man, I tell you, and people in America these days, it's almost like we take the American dream for granted. You know?
Sure.
And when I heard her story, I was like, holy cow, man, some people are really willing to travel far for that American dream, because to get here, when I heard her lottery story, I was like, I'm going to research.
1%. It was a 1% chance.
1%.
Yeah.
And then what was it? They also got rid of the embassy in Russia.
Yeah. So now after the war, can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Now after the war between Russia and Ukraine, all the U.S. embassies in Russia were closed.
Yeah.
We used to have 3 of them in Moscow, and Yekaterinburg, and Vladivostok. So it's like 3 parts of Russia, and they are closed. They're all closed, and they now send us Russians to U.S. embassy in Warsaw to get our immigration visas, and we had to
in
go
Poland, right? Warsaw.
Yes, in
Warsaw,
Poland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they don't really like Russians too now, and it's kind of hard. So we had to get a visa for Hungary to get into Poland, and so it was a long trip too. It was a lot of some complicated processes.
How long is the trip anyway? If you want to go to Russia to here?
To Russia from here. It's more than 24 hours, exactly.
Wow.
Like, I would say even like 36 hours.
Well, yeah, and also just kind of, the language we talk, right? Like, for example, you had to go to Warsaw to no choice of your own, right, to visit the embassy there.
Yes.
And it's like you mentioned, they don't like Russians there, right? But it's like, hey, look, you have a rogue, you have a monarch, essentially a tyrant, a despot in Putin, that is, he doesn't talk for all the Russian people. Just like if Kamala got elected for the United States I would definitely not be someone that would be, hey, I'm an American. I wouldn't want to be associated with her and anything that they stand for. So that's one of the challenges that the United States has is, for example, Trump, all the great things he's doing and has done for these first 100 days and more is, it's under a microscope because now it's every 4-year cycle. See, these guys like Putin and these CCP, Chinese Communist Party, Xi, he's a for life. He's a ruler for life, right?
Yep.
So, Russian people, American people, we have a lot more in common, in other words.
That's true.
The people themselves, it's sometimes these ruling class. And luckily for America, our politics got totally shifted away from the Bushes and the Clintons and the Obamas to a new basically one that says, hey, let's give the rights back to the people. Let's give the freedom back to the people. Let's open up the trade barriers again. Let's reanalyze everything, basically.
But we had to hit rock bottom before that, man.
We did.
Under Biden.
That's right. We sure did. Yeah, so immigration-wise, do we have any statistics, or do we know, like, for example, we noticed that there was something like 10 million illegals came through the southern border. And some people even say that number's low, right, over the last 4 years. So it could be up to 15, 18 million.
What's cool about that lotto edition, how many total do they give? Was it like 5,000 to 7,000 for Russia?
It's a random number of picked people.
But you get like a 1% chance of getting picked. Then what are the chances you actually get approved? Like what percentage?
Oh, that's crazy story too. So usually, like my year, I was applying for lottery 24. It was 22 million people who applied.
Wow.
And it was only 100,000 who got picked.
100,000 out of 22.
Yes. So and
that's from all different countries, right?
Yeah, it's from all different countries. They divide us into like regions. So it's Europe, it's Asia, it's Africa, and they kind of try to make them equal or whatever. Maybe they have some Some other proportions, I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
So, but it's not like for each country. It's more like about regions.
Right.
So, every people who got picked, they got a numbers. It's random number. So my number was 5,000 something. And it's really important because the less your number, the earlier you got for the interview. So when you got picked, you're just waiting when they invite you for interview. And the less your number, the earlier you got it. So they started usually in October, and I was in interview in December. So it's pretty early.
And how long did it take for them to tell you you're approved or you're picked?
So I applied in September or October, and I knew that I won in May. So it's the same cycle every year. So it's application process in October and results in May, and then they start in probably it's November actually. So that doesn't matter really. And they started to review the applications from November.
Right.
So you got a number. And the thing is that if people who got smallest numbers, they bring family with them.
Got it.
So it's husband and it's kids or a wife if it's that. They given only 5,000 green cards in a year.
Okay.
So, and they got not one green card, they got 4 green cards if
right.
couple and 2 kids. So if you have a really big number, you will not invite them to the interview because they will be out of green cards.
Right. Sorry, we got to get to a break here, but that's Vitka Tarasova and Attorney Jason Kobal in studio with us, talking about Kobal Law, talking about auto injuries, accidents, also immigration policies, and Victoria is a flexologist and yoga instructor here in the United States now. So we're happy you're here, and I want to learn more about that story. We're going to take a quick break more with Attorney Jason Kobal here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to the channel's YouTube channel, up 700% from Q4 to Q1, 700% jump, and a lot of it's due to our audience. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke, American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune, at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Blue Moon Estate Sales of Pinellas County for all of your estate sale needs. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. Reach out to Jennifer. Tell her you heard about her here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. And stop by their store, the Blue Moon Store, at 1479 South Belcher in Largo. 1479 South Belcher in Largo. And that's BlueMoonEstateSales.com. SJ Movers and Junk Removal, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. 727-717-0846 for all your moving and junk removal. 727-717-0846. SJ Movers and Junk Removal. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. That's ConsumerQB, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, we would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, we're back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team. Lexington Oak Drive in Brandon. We got a beautiful property here at 2547 Lexington Oak Drive. 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1-car garage. 1917 square foot. I have a beautiful community pool here. The kitchen is gorgeous. I love that lighter color island and the cabinetry. Stainless steel appliances. Beautiful property for sale. All new flooring, fresh carpet throughout. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive, Brandon, Florida. This is an affordable townhome that is available from the Platinum MVP team. Too many upgrades to mention here, but a great property for you there. 1161 Rio de Janeiro. This one's down in Punta Gorda, Florida. That's Charlotte County, way down south there, Charlotte County. Great area for retirement or a vibrant community there as well. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2574 square foot, quarter-acre lot. Owner motivated. You have a beautiful in-ground pool, spa package screened in as well, lighter color kitchen cabinetry, granite countertop, steel roof as well, metal roof on the top there. 23 is the year on that. 1161 Rio de Janeiro. A couple of our hot listings from the Platinum MVP team. My wife Lindsay and I own the Platinum MVP team. We're a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, back here in studio, we're talking with Attorney Jason Kobal and special guest Vitka Tarasova on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And you know, the whole process, too, you're still becoming a citizen, right? You're working on becoming a citizen. I think that's the key is, because so many times, like you said, people take the American dream for granted. And the situation is that, look, people have died for this country. People have put it all on the line. We've got businesses that are taking the tremendous risk. And I think what we just saw with Doge and the way that everything has kind of shook out this first quarter, right, of 23 is like, hey, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about.
A whole lot.
Right? A lot going on. So one of the main mechanisms of growing a country is bringing in the right people, not the wrong people through the southern border, like these rapists that the Democrats go and chase to El Salvador and have a margarita with and talk about how bad their life was. But in the United States, this is a birthright for generations, and we want to protect that. And that's why we're conservatives. We want to conserve what's good. We want to conserve what is true. And we have a Christian conservative point of view here. And that's the way we look at things. We look through that life lens. So back to you, Jason. Final thoughts back to you. Immigration law, wherever you want to take it, sir.
My big one is the car accidents, man. It makes me sick when I see people getting ripped off. You drive down the street, you all see the billboards. Everybody wants these car accidents. And 95% of all cases never go to trial. They settle pre-suit. At Kobal Law, we have a very specific system that we use. We re-maximize profit to my clients, bottom line. We limit costs. Yeah, we don't screw people. And that's where the cases... And that's where you get the most value in your client's pocket is in the pre-suit. And then the 5-10% that have to go to trial, I have 4 or 5 of the best trial lawyers in the state, and those are the only ones I will team up with. If that rare situation pops up, but it is rare. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. And then they end up getting the short end of the stick at pre-suit. But, so that's it. Call Kobal Law if you get in a car accident, or else you might find that you're going to come up on the short end yourselves.
Kobal Law.
Yeah, Kobal Law. TampaWorkCompLaw.com.
TampaWorkCompLaw.com.
Or KobalLaw.net. Yep.
KobalLaw.net. You can search them online, find them there. And, it's a lot about the specialization when it comes to trial work, isn't it?
Yeah,
Those
absolutely.
are special skill sets.
Absolutely,
yep.
Definitely. And you don't ever want an attorney who says they're a jack of all trade.
Right.
An attorney says, I can handle anything, run.
Exactly.
You have to be specialized.
You can't be graded at all. Final thoughts, Vitka Tarasova.
Yeah, so I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I just want to say that everything in this world is possible if you really believe in what you're doing and if you're doing it the proper way. I mean, I'm really excited to learn everything about people's body, and that's why I made so great results for Jason.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing so great here, and I was doing great in Russia too. So just believe in yourself. Just do things properly. If you're trying to migrate, make it legally, because it gives you a lot more chances to build your life here and to chase your American dream.
Perfect.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. I love it. Well done. All right, Attorney Jason Kobal on the program, Vitka Tarasova, Mark Haye as well, breaking down that big, beautiful tax bill as well, reminding us about the QBI, 23% off the net income. So many things we bring to you here on a daily show. Follow us online, support the local economy. Thank you so much for supporting the show. We had an uptick in calls last week. You know, it really makes our day when you reach out to the hotline at 813-917-1894. Just call or text the show hotline. Also, submit an email through the website, consumerqb.com. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.